Mr. Trump, about your campaign slogan, what do you mean when you say "Make America Great Again"? Are you saying America it was never great?
Well, the American dream was dead originally, and it still is. So my goal is to fix it, like rebuild it.
In what way is the American dream dead?
Like government is just kind of dying out, and Obamacare, stuff like that is just ruining America. ISIS, terrorists, all that stuff. I'm doing a good job.
Do you have anything to say about that? No?
No.
Good.
All right. What will you do different than Obama if you become president?
I would create a different healthcare system. I would not throw as many Americans out back into their country and split families apart. And yeah.
Do you agree with Obamacare?
I do agree with part of Obamacare. I believe that there are some good things, but I think that we need to abolish some things about Obamacare and make it better.
Mr. Trump, do you have anything to say about that?
Obamacare is just terrible. It's ruined altogether. We need to completely destroy it and build something better.
So you're saying you would completely get rid of Obamacare?
Yep.
Would you say anything different if Obama was here?
Nope. Maybe last time a little bit. I'm not really sure yet.
How do we know between American security and your bank account you won't pick the latter?
I'll have people monitoring me to make sure people, know that I'm not doing that, messing with any funds or anything. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Hillary, how do you think Trump will act as a president towards his bank account or America's security?
I think that Trump is going to take advantage of his bank account and not.
I greatly disagree.
I think that he will pay too much attention on the wealthy and not enough on the middle class.
And Trump, what do you have to say about this?
Go destroy the middle class.
Hillary?
I want to make the middle class more stronger.
You say that, but it's not actually gonna happen.
Well,
You prove that you'll make it better, stronger.
Trump, how do you feel she'll destroy the middle class?
I feel that she will destroy families and take money away from the middle class, or the upper class, and she would send jobs overseas.
And how does that affect you?
I mean, it could, make me go bankrupt,
How does it affect America?
make America go bankrupt, make us more in debt.
And Hillary, how do you disagree with this?
I think that he's just going to use his richness to his advantage and make them upper class and just pay attention to the upper class and no one else. And I think that will ruin America.
Next question. Hillary, what do you mean when you call Trump's voters deplorable?
I don't think that they're in their right mind, and I think that some of the things they believe are wrong.
Trump, what about you?
So wait, what is the question? What do I think about my voters? Or her?
What do you think when she says that your voters are deplorable?
I think she's wrong. I think they're going for the right person here. She's been in office for 30 years and hasn't done anything she's promised to do. So how do we know she'll do it now?
When she was in office, do you think it helped or did something worse?
Did worse.
What ways?
It's I think it could have made America, even more in debt. And, the 33,000 emails I have a feeling that has something to do for
For the both of you, are you pro-life or pro-choice?
First,
I am pro-choice. I believe that politicians have no right in the business of women and what they do with their children or their life.
my turn now?
You?
Pro-choice. Because, you know, it's not my business what women do, and like I said, I have respect for women. I don't know what other people say. It's like the woman's choice, you know, to do like what they want.
Hillary, do you believe that he is pro-woman?
No. I think that he disrespects many women and says things about women that is not true and shouldn't be said.
Do you agree?
I disagree with her. Do you want me to explain it, or you no?
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Okay. Hillary, how do you explain the $6.2 billion stolen from the government?
Well, I had nothing to do with the $6.2 billion stolen from the government, and I don't know who did, but I had nothing to do with it.
Trump?
She used it for herself, and she lied about the money and emails.
How can you prove?
Well, where else would the money have gone? And the emails, I mean, I have a feeling it has something to do with the money as well.
What do you have to say about the emails?
The emails were a personal matter. I regret my decision, and they had nothing to do with the government, and they were just personal.
Think she's lying?
33,000 emails being personal, yeah, I highly doubt that. Even Mr. R doesn't get 33,000 emails for personal stuff. Or maybe he does.
What are your thoughts about immigration for both of you? Trump?
Immigration. I think we need to stop immigrants that are illegally coming in, and only make sure they're citizens before they do come in, so they don't come in and take our jobs and
Again, I don't want to split families up. I want to keep out illegal immigrants being criminals and unsafe people. I don't know. I don't want to split families apart. I believe that some people should be allowed in and dangerous ones shouldn't.
How would you be able to tell if they're dangerous or not?
Background checks.
How well does a background check work for somebody who's never committed a crime?
You didn't prepare too much, did you?
You know what, Marcus?
Mr. Trump, how would you handle immigration?
get an identity first, DNA sample, do a scan, so in case they do commit crimes, we have an idea of who it is, and technology now we could probably maybe find out where they are and stop them before they do something else.
What are your thoughts on building a wall?
We need to build a wall between Mexico and the U.S. It's up to
How would you propose to pay for it?
Mexicans will pay for it.
How are you gonna make them pay for it?
Same way I made them, just make them pay for it. We can make them. We have stronger, we use military force, we have to.
What material do you think it would be made from if the Mexicans had to pay for it?
Sorry, what I didn't hear you.
How structurally stable do you think the wall would be if the Mexicans paid for
Well, we'll
it?
have people supervising them. So, if it's not to our satisfaction, we can make him build it.
If you,
How is the wall going to stop planes? How will the wall stop anything besides make us more in debt?
The wall is what it's supposed to do is stop the immigrants from Mexico coming over, crossing the border, especially with drugs and stuff like that they usually bring in.
Hillary, how do you propose to fix the already broken
to have stronger borders. I don't think that we need a tall, beautiful wall as Trump proposes. I think that that's just a fantasy, and I don't think that that's a real solution to what's going on.
How would you crack down on people that are getting into the country through the international waters?
I think that the border needs more security, but I don't think that it needs a wall.
And Trump, how do you propose?
Do more boat checks, like, you know, see, like, make sure you check all the crates and stuff like that to make sure there's no one hiding in there trying to get over here legally.
If you become president, when are you gonna make your wall thing come into plan?
Starting right away.
How long do you think it would take?
Maybe a year or two.
Our estimates say it would take up to 10 to 20 years.
Depends on how you look at it.
Next question. This is for both of you. What will you do about children's education if you become president? Hillary?
I will work to put every child in high-class schools and provide teachers with the training and supplies that they need.
What if they can't afford it?
Then I believe that the government should provide it.
Trump?
What I'll do is I'll make like college and other schools cheaper, but not so cheap at the point where the teachers won't like quit because their salaries will go low, but maybe a couple $1,000 cheaper, like per semester, so it's a little more.
How do you propose to make a structurally stable school environment for students that can't focus in the classroom?
Me or?
You first.
I mean, there's probably like some teachers that we could get to help with that, to help them focus and help them get their work done to learn. So probably get like, you know, some people that could help them and make them be able to focus more.
Do you think that, oh wait, Hillary, your response first.
I think I do agree. I think that there should be more teachers helping children and more people helping them to focus and know what they need to know.
This is a question for both of you, off of the same question. Do you think that students should be taught generally as one classroom, or do you think it should be more individualized to the student's needs?
I think if a student is struggling, that they should individually be taught, but if a student is doing good in an open environment, then they should keep doing what works for them.
Trump?
Alright, I think we should like, you know, have like students like based on how they learn either visually or just by like, you know, being like shown it kind of thing, like, you know, being like reading it themselves. We'll have them kind of like split up, and like the ones that learn better visually will go in like a different area, and ones that like, you know, learn better like reading it and learning it themselves will like kind of go in a different like classroom or whatever. So like they both learn the same, but since they both learn different, they'll, you know, still know it, get the education they need.
Next question. The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, is not affordable. What will you do to bring the cost down and make the coverage better? Trump?
You're completely destroying it, making a brand new system. The system doesn't work.
Hillary?
I think that, again, we need to abolish some things about Obamacare because some of it is not good. And I think that we need to keep some of the good things, and I think that we need to make price go down and coverage up.
What would you say the good things are about that act?
Insurance companies can't deny you coverage because of pre-existing conditions, no lifetime limits, women can't be charged more than men, and if you're under 26 and your parents have existing coverage, then you can be on that policy until the age of 26.
Anything?
Like Obamacare is not affordable and it like hurts some people while it helps others. So I think we should completely get rid of it. There's no point in having it. It was just a waste of time. Just a scam.
Next question.
What would you guys do to make the wealthiest Americans pay their fair share of taxes? Anyone?
Alright. So to make sure they do pay their taxes, we are gonna lower taxes 15% instead of 35. And if we do that, then people will definitely pay because it's not as expensive or as much. So basically don't cheat out like I did, which is just smart business what I did. But we'll fix those problems.
What will you do when we run out of funds because we're not paying as much money with taxes and our tax money isn't funding the things that we should?
Well, that's not gonna happen. We won't let it happen. If we keep the jobs and stuff here and not let them go overseas, then we should definitely still be gaining almost as much income as we are now, but it'll just be a little bit more time.
Hillary?
I think that we should raise taxes on the upper class so they pay their fair share, and I think that the lower class should have more room, because if Americans work all the time, then they're not getting enough money to support their family.
Do you think uppering the taxes for upper class and lowering for middle class, do you think that'll cause some controversy?
I don't believe that. I think that if the higher class has more money to spend, I think that they should help out with the rest of America.
Trump, your thoughts?
I think it will cause trouble between the upper class and the middle class and lower class if the upper class has to pay more. I mean, I do kind of agree with that, or that the lower class shouldn't have to pay as much because they don't have as much, but upper class paying a lot more will cause a lot of problems.
How will you help Muslims deal with the consequences of being labeled a threat to the country after the election is over?
I think that some of the Muslims coming over may be bad. I don't think that they all are. I don't believe that all Muslims are just terrorists, and I think the rest of America shouldn't believe that either because it's not true.
They need to report crime if they see stuff. If they see any crime happening, they need to report it. And we'll do DNA scans, like I said, so we know if we can find out if they are terrorists or not by that. And so if they do come in, I'll get to that. So if they do come in, then we could we'll know if they're fake news, what, and determine what they are.
Do you think all Muslims will agree to doing DNA scans?
Probably not, but if they don't agree, then they don't come into the country.
So you're saying that you'd force them?
I mean, if they're not gonna, like I said, we'll have the ones in here report crime. If that does fine, then the DNA scans we'll worry about until unless something happens in the country with the Muslims. But for now, it's still being decided.
Hillary, do you agree with this plan?
No, I don't think that forcing people to do things is a good idea. I think that if they do bad things in our country, then they should obviously be deported. But I don't think that every person is going to agree to a DNA check.
Do you think that tightening the security will really stop the Muslims from committing terroristic acts?
No.
Trump?
I agree with her. I don't think tightening security will do anything because they still have ways to get in and stuff, so it won't change much.
What about traveling? Do you guys think when you go to an airport or something, getting ready to get on a flight, do you think the security should be lower, or should stay the same, or do you guys think you should increase the security more?
Well, the security has been helping. Nothing with airplanes have been really a problem lately. I think the security is good right now.
Trump.
I think we should get more just to, sure, have more security to make sure there's like, no like weapons hidden anywhere, like, I don't know, stock or something.
If you were president, what would you do about the humanitarian crisis in Aleppo?
So what I would do is I would reduce the taxes and
Think?
I agree.
Trump, now that the presidency and the voting, like the main vote, is so close by, and so many people, this is going to be the final deciding factor, are you going to release your tax returns before you are elected president, if you are elected president?
I will not.
You will not. For what reason?
Not until the election is
Not
official.
until
Until
it's-
there's an official person.
Is there any reason?
And I don't want it to, determine factor whether, I am president or not, honestly.
Did you know that there's many voters that are deterred from voting for you just for the factor that you haven't turned in your tax returns?
I mean, it's fine, it's what it is. There's no more I can do about it.
Hillary, what about your emails? How do you feel about the voters judging you for 33,000 emails that disappeared?
There's nothing really much that I can do. I have apologized for it. I turned over a lot of the emails. There's nothing I can do about that.
How about you tell us what the emails were? They weren't personal.
They were personal.
They were not.
They were.
I don't think someone sends 33,000 personal emails or something. It just doesn't sound natural. If it's that personal, you should come talk to me in person. That's all you gotta say? Alright.
Trump, what will you do to make America great again? What is your biggest law that you're going to pass? We already went over this. Will you make America great again? You didn't really explain much.
Well, like I said, we'll kind of rebuild the American dream. We will, keep jobs from leaving. Make people have more jobs and make people, at least living somewhat, like have shelter and like have food and stuff like that. Right now, there's too many homeless people and like really low class people to the point where they're going homeless and it's kind of, affecting America.
Hillary, do you think America needs to be made great again?
I think that there are many great factors in America, but I think that some things need to be changed. But I think that America is already great.
What are you gonna do about homeless people? There's too many. What are you gonna do about it?
Create more jobs so that there will be less homeless, like create, and like with cheaper education, so like once they get a job they should also get an education. Eventually you go from the like low paying job that they have now up to higher paying jobs so they don't become less homeless. They won't be homeless anymore, they'll become less.
1 second. If the Mexicans are forced to pay for the wall, what will you do if they threaten to disband from the country?
We'll use military force if we have to.
And how do you think the other countries will look at us if we use military force to enforce our country?
I believe there'll be less terrorist attacks. They'll see us as more of like a danger, so like kind of not to mess with us type thing.
On to the next question. Hillary, what do you think we should do about the high rate of veterans? All of our I think it's a good 65% of our veterans become homeless after deployment and after they've been honorably discharged.
I think that we should provide them with many, with homes, with food, with shelter. They obviously need to provide for themselves too, but I think at first, whenever they come back, we should provide them with these things that they need.
Trump?
I think we should make a charity, so like when they do come home, we have some funds to give them to help them out through their financial need.
And what about all the foundations that are already readily available but aren't being...
Fund them.
Okay. What will you do about foreign affairs?
Give me an example of one so better.
How would you deal with Putin and Kim Jong-un and all the other world leaders that we aren't on good terms with?
I think we kind of need to get out of the country, maybe have a couple hidden bases there so we have an idea what's going on. But I think we should kind of like pull back and make our defenses better, so in case they ever do decide to attack the U.S., we are prepared for it.
Hillary, what do you think?
I think that we need to make more relationships with other countries so they don't quote unquote hate us as much. And I think that there just needs to be a better relationship and just a better relationship with them so a better relationship with them.
Do you support same-sex marriage?
Yes.
What about you, Mr. Trump?
It's people's decision what they want to do. I will support it. So if they want to get married, then go ahead and be happy. That's one part of how we're going to make America great again.
Do you agree with raising minimum wage?
If we raise it, I mean, we're not going to raise it much because like the point of those jobs is to kind of like have it temporarily just to start out, but then eventually get up to a bigger, more paying job. Like they're not supposed to be there like a long-term job because you want to have it for younger people.
Hillary?
I think that we should raise minimum wage. I think that the people working so much aren't making enough money.
Don't you feel raising minimum wage will get rid of the higher jobs?
Yes, but no. I think that raising minimum wage to a point isn't bad, but I think that raising them ridiculously is bad because obviously you can't have a job at McDonald's and make the same money as a businessman. I mean, but if you raise minimum wage to a point, then it is a good thing.
Mr. Trump?
Well, that's kind of what I was saying. Like only raise it maybe like $1 or $2 more an hour. So like it's kind of just like a starter job, and then like eventually they'll go off and get the higher jobs. Like they're more paying. So then like the new generation that's coming into getting jobs and stuff, they can have those jobs to start out. Keep going on. We don't want someone like working at McDonald's for their entire life because then like it'll take away jobs for the younger people that are getting older coming into society.
How do you feel about the medicine costs being so high?
I mean, I think we should make it lower. That's all I have to say.
Why? Do you think you should make it lower?
I mean, because it can cause more problems, and like if it's higher, like where it is or goes higher, it will cause a lot more problems within like country than if it was lower.
Hillary?
The EpiPen, for example. The people who run the company are making a ridiculous amount of money, but they still raise costs on the EpiPen that people need to live. So I believe that we should make the prices lower because obviously people need them to live.
How do you propose we'll make it lower? Because it's their patent, so it's their right to make it as costful as much, and we don't have any laws against it to try them in the court of law.
I think that we should make a law against making medicine that high.
Trump?
We'll make like another amendment, like kind of saying that it can't be high because that's like a life-saving type thing. So I mean, if you have it high and where people can't afford it and they really need it, they can mess up lives and people government will be in trouble for it.
Mr. Trump, how do you plan to stop police from killing innocent people?
I think we should have body cams, so like we know like what happened, but like maybe I kind of go back and like retrain them. So like instead of pulling out for their gun, you should pull out for like a taser. Like like taser guns and like also have other weapons in case. But like so if what's going on now with like them shooting people, like what we should have them like maybe like, reach for a taser instead of for the guns.
Hillary?
I do agree with that. I think that officers pulling for a gun at people that don't have guns is not right, and I think that they should pull a taser gun or something else.
And do you propose we should make tasers more readily available? Because tasers take from 30 seconds to a minute to reload, and you can miss from 20 yards and further. And so if they miss, they have the chance of either being abused, tackled, or killed also. So yes, there are innocent people, but they also have to defend themselves. So from the cop's point of view, should we upgrade the tasers so it has a magazine instead of a cartridge?
I think that would be a good idea.
Trump?
I think that would be a good idea to upgrade to a magazine instead, so you get more shots. But like I said, like going back and retraining them so that they'll be more accurate to taser, and let's hope they don't miss the first shot. And if they do, and if they are attacking, then that should be also another point where they pull out the gun. They are being attacked at that point.
Do you guys have any closing statements?
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Hillary?
No.
Shake hands. And this has been our sponsor, Mr. R's Production.